What's happening, SNDL traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today is Monday, May 8th. Hope you're well. Happy Monday, and hope you had a great weekend. In this video, going to be discussing the stock SNDL, going to do some technical analysis, and going to go over the topic of when can we expect a dividend. This is something that's been coming up in the MJ space quite a lot lately. So I want to give my thoughts and opinions, and also want to reach out to the community. I do have a question for you. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. So we'll start off with the dividend question. So you can see here, there was also some news from Nova MJ. So Nova MJ shareholders vote in favor of strategic partnership with SNDL. And you can see here, this was from April 22nd, another piece here. So in December of 2022, SNDL announced a proposed strategic partnership with Nova MJ, creating a well-capitalized MJ retail platform through a vertical integration model leveraging SNDL's upstream and midstream capabilities. The restructuring of Nova, if approved by Nova shareholders, will enable SNDL to continue to evolve in a very mature sector by becoming a trusted partner and an essential part of the Canadian MJ ecosystem. This strategic partnership will transition SNDL to the role of sponsor, franchisor, and advisor in the MJ retail market. Through a dividend of shares to SNDL shareholders, we will reduce our ownership in stake in Nova MJ to less than 20% and manage brand standards via strategic agreements and contracts in exchange for receiving a licensing fee against gross profit and a services fee in return for provision of services, including financial reporting, business technology, and regulatory support. So that was the only thing I could find with regards to dividend, but I'm hearing rumblings that SNDL is going to be offering a dividend this month. I'm not sure if it's going to be something that's ongoing, but I wanted to reach out to the community and get your feedback on that. If you have any sources or anything like that directly, I did check the financial statements. It's not a company that I own in my MJ portfolio. I own it through, I believe it's in one of the ETFs that I own, but I don't actually own it directly. I own it indirectly through an ETF. But full disclosure, I'm not an SNDL shareholder, so this isn't a company in the MJ space that I follow that closely, but I'll definitely be following it more and more. I do think that Nova MJ and Value Buds, there's a lot of value there, no pun intended. Yeah, I'm going to be definitely adding this one to my radar and following it a little bit more. May look to add a position. I've just been holding off because of the fact that MJ has been sliding, and we just wasn't 100% sold on SNDL's business plan, right? They're getting into retail, alcohol retail as well, and I'm mostly focusing on 100% pure MJ plays, but it's not a bad idea to diversify with the uncertainty of regulatory movement and change and reform in the US, right? So it does pay to have a little bit of a diversification as well, but and we also had the acquisitions that they recently done, right? Went from 17.6 million in quarterly revenue to 200 in the 200s. Their last earnings that they reported a couple of weeks ago, they beat revenue by about 2 million there, so 238 forecasted and came in at 240. So the slight beat there, but you can see here it's ramping up quarter over quarter, and then obviously due to acquisitions, we're seeing massive increase there. And if we take a look, you can see here shareholders did approve that vote in favor of strategic partnership with SNDL. And like I said, they just reported their earnings, and it's pretty complicated, right? They got liquor, they got MJ operations, investments, corporate. So like I said, they're mostly focusing on alcohol now. So again, wasn't completely sold on their business model, but I'm definitely going to be looking at adding in the near future here. But something that I wanted to mention, and like I said, dividends has been coming up a lot lately. This is a video from 5 months ago when Boris Jordan, the executive chairman and co-founder the founder of Cureleaf, he mentioned that under 280E, they've now paid over $340 million to the U.S. government. And he said that if not for 280E tax code in the U.S., they would probably already be paying a dividend, which is quite astonishing to think about. And then I did a video about 4 days ago, and this is a private company, Greenlight Dispensary. They are a multi-state operator. They're private, but they're announcing a dividend as well. So we're starting to see this trend. And Boris Jordan said that he believes that MJ companies are going to be high cash flowing businesses and that are going to offer a lot of opportunity for dividends in the future. He thinks that's very, very realistic, and myself included, right? But we're starting to see this trend emerge more and more. But again, all I could find was this piece here about through a dividend of shares to SNDL shareholders, we will reduce our ownership and stake in Nova MJ to less than 20%. But I don't think it's going to be, quarterly, or we'll see what comes of that. But again, if somebody can let me know in the comments below if you have any more details on that, any source, if you can point me in the right direction to where, because like I said, I've been hearing people saying that SNDL is going to be issuing a dividend this month, but as of right now, all I could find was this. I'm not seeing anything about we're going to offer it quarterly or anything like that, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. And like I said, Curaleaf probably would have already been paying a dividend. Just gives you a little bit of a glimpse into the future, what we could potentially expect. But let's take a look at the chart here and what to expect in the days and weeks ahead, in my opinion, on the chart here. So we had a pretty big move there off of the low. We're seeing about 35% gains here off the low. So congrats to those that did catch that move. Obviously, we're seeing some optimism with regards to the House and the Senate. We're potentially seeing safe banking reintroduced and passing the Senate. So we actually had some commentary from Chuck Schumer today that it's going to be passed through the Senate. So as we know, it usually stalls in the Senate, right? We got the likes of Mitch McConnell and all these anti-MJ people who are just, reluctant to change and not giving the American people what they want, when an overwhelmingly majority want this to be legalized and treated just like alcohol, right? I mean, it's medicine. It's not poison. It's medicine. It's the medicine of the future, and it's time to give the people what they want and get with the program. So if we take a look at SNDL here, like I said, nice move there off of the hopes with the meeting scheduled for May 11th. So we'll be covering that here throughout the rest of the week, but nice move here in MJ land, but we still got a lot of work to do. And right now, SNDL is a weekly bear flag. So anything under the 0.32 fib is it's $1.86 on the NASDAQ, so in US dollars. Anything under 186 is a potential weekly bear flag. And we're targeting about 106 here on this bear flag. Doesn't mean we have to get there. It's just technical analysis. It says that that's what could happen, right? The odds are saying that we're likely heading to 106. So you could have a potential opportunity here on SNDL to potentially load up closer to $1. So we still yet to change the weekly trend as well. We haven't confirmed a higher low and higher high. So we're not in a weekly uptrend yet. So we will expect weekly consolidation. Maybe not this week because we have some bullish catalysts to look forward to in case, in case something bad happens with safe banking and that meeting. That could give us weekly consolidation in a hurry, but I would more than likely anticipate weekly consolidation next week and a pretty hefty pullback. But I would see, as the most likely scenario, I could see a move up to EMA 26 this week around $2, and then next week we back test the previous low of this week, next week, and then start weekly consolidation. And we could easily pull back 10, 20% once we start because of this massive move here off of the low. But in terms of the monthly time frame, we're just starting the monthly bounce now, and we hit a new all-time low on the NASDAQ. So the all-time low before was 138, and this is post-split factoring in, and then 129 was the low of last month. So just following the rest of the MJ sector, par for the course, and we're finally starting the monthly bounce. Once we broke 163, the high of last month, that indicated that the monthly bounce was underway, but realistically, anything under 336 is just a monthly lower high and still in a monthly downtrend. So we still need a high, higher low, and higher high to give us a monthly uptrend. So we got multiple months of work to do here on SNDL before we can be confident that the bottom's in. But even if we just back test EMA 12 from current levels, that's almost 50% of upside. And then EMA 26 is over 200% of upside. And then to the actual price action resistance, you're looking at about 90% of upside. So this could be a nice swing trade and long-term entry here. Again, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. But things are starting to look and starting to heat up, no pun intended, here in the MJ space. You can see here that we're seeing a potential second weekly candle close over the 10-week moving average. The stochastic and the MACD is blasting off, going parabolic here into space as well, looking really, really good in terms of the weekly time frame. We have nothing nearby until the 50 weekly there at 239, and then we got some runway until the 100 there at 443 on the weekly moving averages. And then in terms of the daily time frame, we are over the 50-day moving average, and we're closing in on the 100 and potentially the 200-day moving average. And you can see here we've been rejecting, failed to confirm a monthly uptrend here. We got above it, but we didn't confirm a monthly uptrend, and we just continued to slide along with the rest of the sector. Now we're going to see if we can get another close over that 200-day moving average, and then we'll want to see multiple closes and monthly uptrends, weekly and monthly uptrends confirm, and that's going to be something that hasn't happened. And then we had a death cross here back when the price was around $8, then we slid down to about $1, and now we're seeing a potential golden cross opportunity. The last time that happened was back here in January 2021, the beginning part of 2021, and then prices went from around $5 all the way up to about $40 factoring in post-split. Then we had the golden cross, the death cross. Now we're seeing a potential golden cross, but it's more than likely going to be a couple of months before we see that golden cross occur. So like I said, still lots of work to do, but going down it there again, let me know if you found any other information with regards to the dividend. I would appreciate feedback. But that was all that I was able to find. But we are starting to see this trend emerge in the MJ space. And like I said, it really is just a glimpse into the future and just the tip of the iceberg of what we can potentially expect. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rob with Pal Group. Like the video and share it with anybody that might find value. I'd appreciate it. But going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you on the next video.